So hello guys, this is me, SMG, the information scientist. So welcome to my live stream of the Electron rocket. I started a little late because of some internet problem. So yeah, well, let's move into the first phase of the event. Let's talk a little bit before the live stream starts. Okay, well let's see if it has started or not. So let's see just a moment here. Let me see. Okay. Okay, let's just check the update here. Okay, anything wrong here? Let's see. Oh, okay. Nothing's going on here. Nothing much. It's okay, let's just wait and watch. Everything is normal, I guess. Still waiting. Now, let's see, everyday astronauts live webcast. You're also streaming, well, just like me, and just like I'm doing it. Ah, there we go. I think that's dear. Oh. Yeah, baby.
One.
Yeah, here we go.
That's one.
Very excited.
Hello, good morning. It is me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. It's
24
very
minutes
early in the
Okay, okay, I hope rocket levels have started now. Oh, it's 3 minutes late. Actually, I have to say, that they always do it a little bit late. It's totally normal for them. But a scrub, no problem. They have a 10-day launch window. They can launch any time till about May 25th. Oh, what? I can't believe this. Okay, sorry for the disturbance, by the way. Well, let's just see twitter.com/rocketlab for any updates. Hopefully no screw up today because everything looks great for them. They're just keeping an eye on the high altitude upper winds. Now scrub means it'll maybe be cancelled also, so we don't know. Yeah, here we go. Hopefully we covered the first stage today with the second recovery. The first hold on, I just forgot. November, yeah, it's November last year. Anything new here? Let's see. See if anything we got here. Hey, idiot, I'm showing my own live stream. Where it is. This channel is very prospering very smoothly, and thanks for all that viewers. Oh boy, yeah, it started. So the screen will be there for about 10 minutes, so don't get angry when you hold into your rocket lab. Really, symbol is very, very cool. Just look at that. It's like almost like a rocket. There's that rocket fairing, and there's that fins, engine, and there's the exhaust plume. It's really like a rocket. It's their symbol. I like that. I like that logo. Yeah, it's great. Oh boy. Oh, it's starting. Want more to learn about Electron? Watch this video. Talk about Electron. Also, I took a tour of the scope map in Among Us and a weekly and latest updates. Got to leave the link below. Last. If you have noticed that, just for those who want to watch my video, please watch the video where I'm just live streaming. hours today. Literally. Because it's long. This thing will last 1 hour. Before, let's take a little bit of mission profile. Profile means at which thing, which one will happen, like which event will happen each time. I'll show that. Here we go, Electron running out of toes. Running out of toes is actually the mission day. Now there's another rocket launch today actually. Well, I will let you know that it's about 4:26 a.m. Or not. Okay. Here we go. See. Liftoff, then first stage and cut off at T plus 2 minutes and 29 seconds. First stage separation 2 minutes 33 seconds. Okay, well, I'll just explain to you as we're brief because we're running out of time. Really, not running out of toes, but running out of time. Literally. Okay. I think we can hold this thing, and by the way, everyday astronauts live.com. This guy does a lot of things. He's very so please subscribe to me. Don't forget to subscribe to everyday because he's a really good one. Here we go. Liftoff will occur at, of course, it's equal 0, 0, 0 seconds. Stage 1. The first stage, 9 Rutherford engines will cut off at T plus 2 minutes and 29 seconds. The first stage separation will take place at 2 minutes 33 seconds. And stage 2 engine ignition at T plus 2 minutes and 36 seconds. The first stage reorients itself for the re-entry. And then we have the fairing separation at 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Battery hot swap. I'll explain a lot about this yesterday's mission. Yesterday's stage for recap. The battery adjustment will take place at 6 minutes 5 seconds. Then the re-entry max Q at 7 minutes 20 seconds. The broke-through deployment at T plus 7 minutes 36 seconds. And then we have the orbit achieved at the orbit will be achieved at 8 minutes and 45 seconds. And then going down. We also have the main suit deployment for the Electron's first stage at T plus 8 minutes 44 seconds. And at T plus 8 minutes 49 seconds, the first 6 seconds will cut off its engine. Then at T plus 8 minutes 53 seconds, the kick stage will separate itself. After a long coasting period around T plus 51 minutes and 20 seconds, the kick stage will ignite. And the kick stage will cut off again in 3 seconds. And all plus will deploy about 30 seconds later. There are only about 2 satellites on this mission. So yeah, that was the mission profile. What did I mention? The splashdown. The splashdown will be at T plus 12 minutes and 16 seconds. I'm sure you have to type the entire thing. No problem. Now, if you're a fan of rocket, you can learn everything with my channel. Nothing wrong. It's got 0 viewers, huh? Look at that. What? There are more than 100 left. Maybe it's glitch. Still 1 watching. Okay. As I told her, there's still a total of 20 minutes. Honestly, this guy is over astronauts live webcast because we don't have anything. Hello.
How much money do you usually spend a month?
Musical Wolves, as always, how are you, my friend? Do airplane lights get added to make nighttime booster recovery easier? Hope to not miss SN15 reflight. We'll be on a trip between the 23rd and 30th. I hope not either. I don't know. I have no idea the sense of the timeline for SN.
Actually, the other news for news Starship Serial number 15. Always the news about Starship is that the prototype Starship Serial number 15 has actually successfully landed after 4 tries. Go check out my video on Starship. SN8, SN9, SN10, SN11. SN8 failed to land due to low pressure I think header tanks. Well, SN9 failed due to an engine failure. SN10 did land correctly, but the thing was there was too less thrust. This caused the land a little too what do I say? A little too hard, crushing off the landing legs. Oh, it's turning. Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, I was just telling SN10 actually, but it just exploded after 10 minutes. And then we have Starship Channel number 11, which did a mid-air explosion because due to there is a hot start on a relatively small methane leak caused the thing actually to cause a hot start in engine number two, and causing that explosion. The methane leak caused the hot start on the CH4 turboprop.
Hello and welcome to the launch broadcast for Rocket Lab's 20th Electron mission running out of tows. Electron is fueled and ready for liftoff from Rocket Lab's Pad A at Launch Complex 1 in Mahia on New Zealand's east coast. My name is Muriel Baker and I'm here at Rocket Lab's Mission Control Centre in Auckland, New Zealand, where I'll be taking you through the launch of this dedicated mission for Earth monitoring company Black Sky. It is close to 10 p.m. on Saturday, May 15th. This mission has a window of approximately 2 hours, and we're expecting to launch right at the top of that window at 10:08 p.m. New Zealand local time. Our launch operations team are not working any issues, and with greens across the board, we're well set for an on-time launch. Running out of tows is a significant mission for the team here at Rocket Lab as our next major recovery test. For only the second time ever, we will attempt to bring Electron's first stage back to Earth under a parachute and splash it down gently in the ocean as part of our efforts to make Electron the world's first reusable small launch vehicle. Our recovery team is currently stationed in the Pacific Ocean, waiting for Electron's splashdown so they can retrieve it and bring it back to our factory for inspection. However, weather conditions have deteriorated significantly in the splashdown zone, which means we have limited live communications with the recovery team. Visibility at sea is also greatly reduced, so it may take some time to provide confirmation of a successful splashdown, and we may not get this during the webcast. Nonetheless, conditions are optimal for launch, so we are proceeding with the count. Today's recovery attempt will follow a pretty similar process to our first recovery attempt 6 months ago on our return to sender mission in November. But here's what's new for this mission. We've strengthened Electron's thermal protection system with an upgraded heat shield to help protect the booster's Rutherford engines. We've also refined our retrieval logistics and introduced the Ocean Recovery and Capture Apparatus, otherwise known as ORCA, to our recovery vessel. This hydraulic cradle is essentially a recovery-optimized strongback to help safely bring Electron aboard. But maybe most excitingly for this mission is the fact that we'll be flying previously used components for the very first time. Electron returned in such good condition during the return to sender mission that we're reusing its propellant press system on this one. Now, with the recovery team out at sea patiently waiting for liftoff, let's take a look at what's involved in the recovery process. At approximately 2.5 minutes after liftoff, at around an altitude of 80 kilometers, Electron's first and second stages will separate. Electron's second stage will continue this mission's journey to orbit before the kick stage separates to deploy the satellites. Now, this is part of a standard mission profile, but next is where it gets interesting for recovery. During its descent, Electron will reach around 8 times the speed of sound, and the air around Electron will heat up to 2,400 degrees Celsius, generating an extremely hot plasma that creates a red-orange glow around the re-entering stage. To help Electron survive this brutal experience, a reaction control system on the first stage will orient the stage 180 degrees to place it on an ideal angle for atmospheric re-entry. From hypersonic speed, we decelerate the first stage to below Mach 2 before a drogue parachute is released to increase the vehicle's drag and help stabilize it. In the final kilometers of re-entry, a main parachute will be deployed to further slow the stage and enable a controlled splashdown. Our team on the recovery vessel will then rendezvous with the stage and bring it on board the ship with ORCA before transporting it back to our production complex for inspection. For tonight's recovery attempt, we'll have cameras on board Electron's first stage feeding us live footage, and we'll stick to those views as long as we can. Being as it's a night launch, our views will be limited by the lack of sunlight. We're also expecting to lose the camera view during a telemetry switch between our ground tracking stations. And due to poor weather in the splashdown area, we may not get real-time comms from the recovery team during the webcast. We'll listen out for the calls, of course, but if we don't get them live, we'll share updates on our social media channels to keep you posted on Electron's return to Earth.
Oh my dear. Second, I want to see something. Those 0 watchers, this is very bad. Very bad. I'll check his little stream. There's this light. Hey,
They really do.
For the big state separation. Where they made little stream. Let's see. Oh my god. Oh, nothing's there. Means I think they will be streaming. Oh wow, that's great. Great.
Launch.
Think okay. There's something here. I want to show you something else. Else for some time until we have a lot of time. 12 minutes. If someone watching this, okay, I'm just gonna. Let's put a video by this guy, Chari.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Among Us video. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you about this secret map you should never play in Among Us. So I'm sure that many of you are aware that Among Us is a game that is full of mystery. The whole purpose of the game is to figure out who the imposter is, and there is a lot of problem solving involved in order for you to win the game. And now you may be asking yourself, why are you telling us this information if we already know? Well, let me explain. So in Among Us, there's actually this secret map that only a select few to solve the mystery. I hit that so appeared instead of the party that it was talking about, and it did when my screen became darker and darker to the point that I couldn't see. So after I read that note, I appeared instead of the party that it was talking about, and it did mention that I have to solve a mystery, so I should probably look around the map to look for any clues or anything suspicious that could help me. But at least this does confirm that there was a party. I then made my way over to the left side, and I could see some more speakers, and one of them was knocked down. So far we know that the party happened not that long ago, and it was a pretty crazy one, based on all the bottles on the floor and the speaker knocked down. The computer that the DJ used to play the music was also on. I then made my way over to the bottom of the cafeteria, and the table was empty. So far I haven't gotten any information from this location. I need to check the other table. So I made my way over to the other table, and I saw a crewmate that was passed out. Looks like he had a good time. I tried to talk to him, but he wasn't moving. So I'm gonna continue to search. I went over to the top portion of the map, and I could see in bright letters, Among Us Party and Scaled. So looks like this was a pretty big event that took place in the map. I then left the cafeteria and I went over to Medbay. But before I entered, I did see this big cross. And when I entered, they turned Medbay into a medical room. And on one of the hospital beds, I saw a dead imposter. There was also blood everywhere, and he also wasn't moving. Towards the bottom, there was also a table where someone was conducting experiments, and there was also pizza on the floor and on one of the beds. The hospital bed was also partially destroyed, but the dead imposter doesn't solve anything. It only makes it more confusing.
What was this? Okay. Let's go to. See, it's a while, but. The legend is a tool sharpened by insights. Complex world, there are variables. Oh wow.
running out of toes will be our 4th mission for Black Sky through launch services.
Okay, let's skip that because I didn't want to. Okay, man, Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab, okay. Let's switch it. Sorry.
For the team here at Rocket Lab, this mission also marks a couple of fantastic achievements because tonight's launch will be the 20th time Electron leaves the pad, powered by our 200th Rutherford engine.
Yep.
It's incredible to think that we've built, tested and fired 200 of our unique 3D printed electric pump-fed engines. Rutherford is the world's first 3D printed orbital rocket engine, a unique design that went against the grain of traditional rocket propulsion systems when we first introduced the idea. Rutherford also made space travel electric by replacing the traditional gas generator cycle with electric pumps powered by lithium polymer batteries. This mission is one for the history books, so we sat down with some of the team who helped make it happen to talk through their experiences of our first
What we have here is just a completely, defiant group of people who really want to execute and see things succeed.
It never gets old, whether it's the first flight to orbit or the 20th, whether it's our first customer or our 200th. We're learning something every single time.
I mean, I'd been here for 5 months. We didn't know if it was going to work.
It's mainly getting the customer's payload into space. It's game time.
Launch day is Space Super Bowl, right?
I don't even remember breathing, but it was worth it. It's a feeling you just can't describe. You just have to really be there.
I'm much more interested in the payload these days. So for the first few flights, it was all about the rocket. Whereas now, I get to know a little bit more about who we're launching.
Launch day is way harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought by the time you get to 20 launches or some number, it would just be like, making coffee. Everybody's just so invested in each launch that there's always so much energy around each launch.
Hearing that our first light satellites come alive and things like that it's a totally different feeling than just we've launched this rocket and that's been awesome.
20 missions is a huge achievement and it's been incredibly exciting, but I'm even more pumped for the next 20.
So I'm super stoked about recovery from the
Design. The fact that we can launch this many rockets, Electron's a good product.
Rocket Lab's secret sauce is its engineers' dedication to rapid development.
We would not have been successful had it been a different group of people.
Oh, I think I'll be in for another 20 flights.
Congratulations to every single Rocket Labber who got us to the pad today and helped us reach these milestones. A check-in on how we're tracking to liftoff. The team are working no issues with the launch vehicle. Electron's payload remains healthy and the weather is looking clear for an on-time launch. We're approaching a critical juncture in the lead up to launch now, the switch to the countdown auto sequence. In T-minus 2 minutes, the autonomous flight computers on Electron will take over the count. At around T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds, we should hear the call that LOX loading is complete on Electron. And then shortly after that, we can expect confirmation that the launch vehicle's first and second stages are pressurized for launch, followed by the 10-second countdown to liftoff with engine ignition at T-minus 3 seconds. Let's hand over now to Mission Control and listen in for those calls.
We go for our sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes.
HV blips nominal.
Confirm LDs go for launch.
Hold.
Got to hold. Recycling T-minus 12 minutes. All stations standby for recycle to T-minus 12 minutes. GC confirm a launch inhibit mode.
Still in prime mode.
Someone will see this video about airplane because I love airplanes too. Take a break.
Now it should work. Thank you.
Okay, let's go back. I need this thing anyways. Status. Still holding. Let's see their update. We'll launch anytime during more than the next 2 hours, so it doesn't matter if it's after the launch. Okay, no problem.
Proceed with stage report checks 63.
Copy, understood.
Avionics terminal abort check.
What is that? Now let's see something else altogether in YouTube. What is this? Okay.
Most of the time, rockets can handle ground winds, strong ground winds. As with this rocket also, it has a good thrust to weight ratio and a sleek design, which means it can handle the ground level winds properly. So that is not the worrisome issue with it. But the upper level winds are a concern always, because you can't do anything when it is going at supersonic speeds.
Wait, that's actually right. See a lot of airline. Oh, 10 creepy monsters? Okay, let's see. Some more.
Molten is a scary and very old monster. He is also known as the lava monster and can eat everyone. Molten is living under the lava pool in Poland.
It's actually all fake, so don't get scared.
And he looks like lava and rocks. Riot is also known as the biggest imposter ever. He is much larger than the whole map Polis, and he is enough big to eat whole planets. He is red and looks like a kind of shark. Dark is also known as the imposter of evil. He is making the crewmates evil and they become imposters. Dark is lime green and he is living in the space. Chrono is also known as the god of space. Chrono can show up everywhere. He created a few imposter monsters and his mission is to take down every crewmate. Chrono looks like a black hole. Killer was from the start a crewmate, until one day when the imposters told him to join their side. The only thing he want to do now is kill. Killer is brown and he is living on all 3 maps. Ion is also known as the king of the underworld. He lives under the ground and navigate through the vents. Ion's mission is to help the imposters to win. He is red and looks very creepy. Ivan is the leader of all imposters. He is a massive monster that lives in both the Skell and Myra HQ. Ivan is black and gray and his teeth are very big. Red is also known as the supreme imposter in all of Among Us. He is one of the leaders of all imposters. Red is special because
we'll see. Setting. Okay.
If you're passionate about mechanical gaming keyboards and our gold standard mechanical switches, you've come to
Boxes. I left the storage unit and I walked up to dropship and Ion was nowhere to be found. I then heard someone call for help. Help me. And it was coming from laboratory, but I was really
Man, this one was creepy. Why don't we see the... Let's keep that.
To actually land on Mars successfully, if it's indeed true, which it sounds like it is, which is amazing. That's huge, considering that Russia and the Soviet Union had sent so many, or formerly the Soviet Union had sent so many probes off to Mars and has never successfully actually touched down softly. So if they, that's amazing. That's huge. That's progress. It's so good to know there's finally another country out there besides the United States that can land on Mars. So yeah, congratulations, China. That is awesome. Let's see here. Why is Starship transported vertically? That's a good question. I think mostly because it's assembled vertically in the high bay, the medium bay. Everything's assembled vertically. And so it's just easy to pick it up with a crane and stick it on something and just roll it out, because that's kind of the whole process anyway. It never is horizontal at any point. And even the rings are never horizontal. No part of the rocket is ever horizontal until it's flying and falling. Then it's intentionally horizontal for a couple minutes. But as far as the other thing, too, to remember is when you go out to Boca Chica and you go down the highway there, to turn into that corner, it's actually really sharp. So if you had the booster or, the Starship up on its side, it probably couldn't make that turn in particular. I mean, obviously you could change the road and stuff, but they are limited on the left side of there. They can't go out into the wetlands there, so it would be pretty difficult. 50 meters is really, really, really long. 165 feet. That's pretty big. That becomes a hard thing to turn, and the booster is even bigger than that. So, I think that's kind of why vertically, because it's assembled vertically. But yeah. Let's see here. Ansco. So this is a great question. Won't seawater damage rocket components when it lands in the...
Okay, let's see the updates now. Still no one is watching my live stream. I don't know why. Right? Problem. I'll be sure to drop the link in them. Oh. It's fine. Okay, guys. Well, I think it's time for a quick break. Yeah, I'll take a quick break. Time, let's see some aviation thing because I love aviation. I can't stop them. Can't stop my. So sorry. I like aviation all the way. It just seems to be this things. There was a weak connection. Now I have a channel that let us see how many viewers we got here.
Whole room to actually work properly, and the if
Let us see how many viewers we got here.
whole
It's getting
room
really,
to
really
actually
boring. I don't know
work
why. I'm
properly,
seeing my own
and
live
the
stream here. Oh, finally, one watching. What? Starship? Orbital flight? Oh my god. Here's the Starship Orbital. The Starship Orbital flight test will originate from Starbase, Texas. The booster stage will separate approximately 170 seconds into the flight. The booster will then perform a partial return and land in the Gulf of Mexico, approximately 20 miles from shore. The Orbital Starship will continue on flying between the Florida Straits and will achieve orbit until performing a powered parallel landing, approximately 100 kilometers north of the coast of Kauai, in the South Pacific. The Starship SN-20 will not land. Okay, well, do?
अक्सर ये बोला जाता है that if you are in a job and you want to start up, then you should quit your job and then start.
Starship is, and in the same sense, Starship, you could make a bigger Starship a lot easier. Hang on.
Holding the clock at T-minus 12 minutes while the GNC team work through further verification of upper air winds and running some worst case data. Expected time to pick up the count is no earlier than 111139 UTC. That's for target T0. I'll report back in about 10 to 15 minutes when we hear back from GNC.
11, so that's near the end of the window. Am I going to be sitting here talking for a full hour?
No.
I think that's exactly what I'm doing. I think that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, 1139. Is that what he said was the earliest T0? Okay, hold on. Yeah, that would be an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, man. All right, so, yeah, Starship can definitely be scaled up 100%. Well, I'll stick around here and keep answering you guys' questions, of course. Who needs sleep, right?
Okay, guys,
Civilian dad. Am I thinking about a space tourism video? If you had to...
Okay, guys, I'm back. Just in a short.
All right, so this is Musical Wolves. Will Rocket Lab be landing on Venus or just orbit? I'm guessing just orbit, you know, and even just dipping into the clouds a little bit would be huge for a data standpoint. Still, Venus is so underexplored and could tell us so much, I think, about our own planet.
Oh, one probability map. Oh, well, I don't understand. Oh, one probability map. We'll see another Among Us video by Chari.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Among Us video. And in this video, we're going to be going over the mystery of Patient Zero. If you have been playing Among Us for a while, you may have heard of Patient Zero. According to some rumors, he was the first imposter ever, which means that you're... But now, let's go over my encounter with P and my card. The doors to go into decontamination. The fog then appeared, and right under this fog, Patient Zero has appeared. I have heard rumors about him, but I've never actually seen him in a game. That is weird. For some reason, I was unable to move my screen, and that is when Orange walked in and killed me. I was honestly really upset that Patient Zero ruined my game. And I did hear some rumors that Patient Zero was one of the first imposters. So I decided to do some research and I found a way to summon him. Let's see if I can get my revenge. So when I was on the Among Us home screen, I decided to open up a game of Quick, drop a like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds to vent as a crewmate in Among Us. How's it going? So I did actually find this method that also post notifications turned on. Shit, and let's gonna get started with home screen of Among Us, and you guys want to make sure you click on the free play option. So this method is working for both iOS, Android, and PC users. So you guys want to make sure you click on the first option right there. Then you guys want to head towards the computer, and you guys want to make sure you click on the red file. And it's going to make you into an imposter. So then you guys want to make sure you click the sabotage button, and you guys sabotage O2. And you guys want to make sure you stand above the vent. So you guys want to make sure you stand above the vent until it hits the 1 second mark. And then you guys want to make sure you vent. So we're going to wait until the time goes down.
Oh, let's start the top immediately.
So we're getting really close to the 10-second mark now. So now let's just have our fingers above the vent button. Okay, now I'm gonna vent. And then it says normally the imposter would have just won because of the critical sabotage. Instead, we just shut it off. So then you guys can see that I'm actually invisible for now. What? So then if I go to the computer and I turn off the imposter, you guys can see that now I'm a crewmate. So you guys can see I can walk around, but I'm invisible at the moment.
Right off.
So what you guys want to do, you guys want to head towards the vent, and you guys can see that I am a crewmate. The top left, it does say admin swipe card. Let's just vent there. So you guys can see I just vented to admin. And I can actually vent over here as well, which is a really interesting glitch. So you guys can see that I'm literally venting as a crewmate. And this method is 100% working. You guys don't have to download anything crazy like any mod or anything like that, because I do have an iPhone, and the last time I checked, I don't think there is any mods on iPhone. So, because iOS and Apple, they're really strict. So you guys can see that I'm literally venting as a crewmate. And you guys can even hear the noise. So I'm venting as a crewmate in Among Us. Polis. Rumor has it that you can... What is up, everybody, and...
I'm praying it out, guys. You can't hear that sound, of course, but you can. Take a lot of whoa here. Oh. There's in a vent running really close. What? Was it joystick? Any update for the launch? Let's see. I have an idea. I'm going to go to spacelaunchnowbe.com. Okay, space launch. Sorry for that, guys. Okay. Okay, guys. I don't know what's happening here. Nothing to see here, actually. Wait, the screen was. Oh, okay, let's put that one. No viewers.
So I did actually find this method.
Yeah, will not be able to see my screen.
Method.
See, actually. Oh, I got something. I got something. Seeing my live stream, I got something. Digital world, let's see this. Nothing to feel about it.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, also Dominica.
We're just gonna sing along with that because I love this. I'm gonna mute this. I'm gonna sing myself. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominica, Ola Dominica, Cuba, El Salvador, too. Kitts and Nevis, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, St. Lucia, Antigua, and Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadine, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and Nicaragua, Grenada, Belize, Trinidad and Tobago, Bahamas, Bermuda, Belarus, and Iran, Greece, Finland, Iceland, Sweden, and Ireland, and Germany still in one piece. Still in Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Malta, Ukraine, San Marino, Romania, Poland, Albania, Monaco, Belgium, Spain, Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, the Vatican City, Estonia, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Kosovo, Latvia, Liechtenstein, and Macedonia, Denmark, Bulgaria, France, Slovenia, Britain, and left the EU, now Portugal, Serbia, Russia, Slovenia, Norway, and Hungary too. Croatia, Moldova, Qatar, and well, let's do from first. No, we didn't do it.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, also Dominica, Cuba, El Salvador, too. St. Kitts and Nevis, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, St. Lucia, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and Nicaragua, Grenada, Belize, Trinidad and Tobago, Bahamas, Barbados, Belarus, Andorra, and Greece, Finland and Iceland, Sweden and Ireland, and Germany still in one piece, Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Malta, Ukraine, San Marino, Romania, Poland, Albania, Monaco, Belgium, Spain, Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, the Vatican City, Estonia, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Kosovo, Latvia, Liechtenstein, and Macedonia.
That's really fantastic to me.
Denmark, Bulgaria, France, Lithuania, Britain has left the EU, Portugal, Serbia, Russia, Slovenia, Norway, and Hungary too. Croatia, Moldova, Qatar, and Cambodia, Sri Lanka, Brunei, Philippines, Singapore, and Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, Mongolia, and Maldives. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, Jordan, East Timor, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Kazakhstan, Iran, and Iraq, Yemen, Jordan, and Azerbaijan. India, Pakistan, Laos, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan. There's Bahrain and Armenia, Myanmar with Korea, and China, Taiwan, and Japan. Kuwait and Uzbekistan, Turkey, Turkmenistan, Cyprus, and Tajikistan. Kyrgyzstan, UAE, Bangladesh, Eswatini, South Africa, China, Sudan, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Burkina Faso, the Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana. Burundi, Lesotho, Malawi, Togo, Cape Verde, Gabon, Sierra, Eritrea, Nigeria, Niger, Liberia, Egypt, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Tanzania, Somalia, Comoros, Mali, Mauritius, and Ghana as well. Belarus, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Zambia, Kenya, Seychelles, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, Sao Tome and Principe, South Africa, Mauritania, Tonga, Australia, Samoa, Cuba, West Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, Nauru, Micronesia, Armenia, the Marshall and Solomon Islands, New Zealand, Tuvalu, Bella, Abadan.
Really?
The first flag of the United States was adopted in 1770.
Oh, I'll see this.
For YouTube. So if you actually have a fund, like if you are planning ahead of time and you submit a proper 501(c), a proper charity like that, they can take the funds and put them directly to them without taking, I don't know if they still take some cut, but definitely not the 30% cut. So that'll be good. So we'll be able to raise money for a good cause, in my opinion. Obviously, space outreach and education is extremely important. So I'm excited to be doing that. So if you guys haven't hit that subscribe button, I doubt there's very many of you guys out there that I feel like you guys are the kind of hardcore. I guess you'd be hardcore if you live in the United States and you're watching this right now. But I guess if you're in Europe or anywhere else in the world, it's normal human hours, probably most likely. So, yeah. What do I think, Joshua Baker? What do I think of Rocket Lab making bigger rockets? I think it's awesome. I think they clearly are, investing in a growing market with these constellations coming up. Having a medium lift rocket like that at 6 tons.
Okay, there's nothing to see here, guys. Really boring. I don't know why. Let's go to our channel. How many viewers have got here? What the hell?
The first flag of
Okay, well, let's see this. Let's go north.
It seems like today the world is full of people. There are 7.4 billion of us after all, and it seems like this. The world used to be Ethiopia in 195,000 BC. We don't really know exactly when humanity discovered certain parts of the world this long ago, but we do.
So actually, we're gonna see the same, how humans evolved. Because this is a little of scientific,
We have our best guesses that we can make based off of fossil evidence that has been discovered. So, let's go with our best guesses for now. The oldest Homo sapiens fossils to date were found in Ethiopia, so human exploration likely started from here. With an entire world to explore, it took until 140,000 to 160,000 years ago for humans to discover modern-day Sudan. But by 125,000 years ago, humans had reached the southern point of the African continent, and at the same time had also crossed the sea into Arabia, or modern-day Yemen. This new group of Arabian-based humans had reached Israel by 100,000 years ago, and Oman by 75,000 to 125,000 years ago. Back in Africa 90,000 years ago, humanity had reached the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Back over again in Asia 70,000 years ago, humans first arrived in India, and 67,000 years ago had reached the Philippines, marking the first time that humans arrived in Oceania. 50,000 years ago, humans first arrived in Taiwan, and 50,000 to 80,000 years ago, humans also arrived in Egypt. For the first time, humans arrived in Australia 48,000 years ago. Those early settlers to Australia and their descendants would remain almost completely undisturbed by the rest of the human population until 1770 with the arrival of Captain James Cook, a guy who liked doing that a lot. We'll get back to him later. So about 47,000 years ago, humans arrived in Japan, and 1,000 years later arrived in Laos and Indonesia. Finally, 45,000 years ago, humans arrived in Greece, which was the first place and first time that humans arrived in Europe. Usually, when humans arrive somewhere for the first time, things die, so naturally the Neanderthals of Europe would mysteriously vanish 5,000 years later. Humans settled Italy 43,000 years ago, and based on our knowledge of fossils, somehow skipped France and arrived in the UK around 43,000 years ago, and Germany 42,000 years ago. On the other, reached North America before humans reached Portugal. But anyway, the mainland United States was first reached 16,000 years ago, and humans first arrived in South America 14,800 years ago, where the oldest remains have been found in Chile. Back across the ocean in Europe, Scandinavia was first settled by humans in around 9,200 BC, and Ireland in 7,700 BC. The Baltic states were first settled around then in 7,600 BC. Over in Asia, Cambodia was reached in 7,000 BC, and this super remote island above Siberia called Zhukov Island was somehow discovered back in 6,300 BC, which is weird because there's still a lot left undiscovered. Jumping back a continent, Malta was discovered in 5200 BC, and across another ocean, Puerto Rico was eventually discovered in 4000 BC, which coincidentally is when the Sid Meier's Civilization games all begin. This is presumably when people started sending out their settlers for the first time. Greenland was reached in 2000 BC. Fiji, Vanuatu, and Samoa were all reached around 1000 BC by the Polynesians. A while went by with no new discoveries until 290 AD when Hawaii was also finally discovered by the Polynesians. They remained there undisturbed by the rest of humanity until 1778, when that same guy named James Cook had to land on their islands as well. Anyway, the next big discovery was Madagascar, which despite being enormous and right next to Africa remained undiscovered by humans until 500 AD. The Roman Empire rose and fell, and in that entire time there were no humans on Madagascar. What else is weird is that the first settlers here didn't come from Africa like you would think, but came on canoes all the way from Borneo across the entire Indian Ocean. So, moving on, the Faroe Islands above Scotland were discovered in 600 AD, the Bahamas in 850 AD, and Iceland remained untouched by humanity until the Vikings found it in 874 AD. The final significantly large and habitable place to be discovered by humans was New Zealand, which saw no humans until the arrival of the Maori Polynesians sometime between 1250 and 1300. Next, we enter the Great Age of European exploration, in which we're about to find out only resulted in the real human discoveries of a few scattered islands. The Portuguese are the first humans to land on 6 of these islands in a row. Madeira in 1420, the Azores in 1439, Cape Verde in 1462, Annobon in 1474, Sao Tome and Principe in 1485, and one poor exiled Portuguese soldier landed on St. Helena in 1516. The only place the Spanish were the first to arrive at were the Bonin Islands south of Japan in 1543, and the Polynesians landed on the Chatham Islands in 1550, the last such Polynesian discovery. Back over in Europe, this frozen hellhole called Svalbard remained untouched by humans until an English whaler landed here in 1604. Bermuda was landed on by a group of shipwrecked Englishmen in 1609, and Jan Mayen was also first landed on by a whaler in 1615. Mauritius was landed on by the Dutch in 1638, and the dodo quickly vanished from the island afterwards. Reunion Island was reached in 1642 by the French, Tristan da Cunha by the Dutch in 1643, the Falkland Islands by the English in 1690, which would remain almost totally irrelevant until Margaret Thatcher, Rodriguez Island in 1691 by the French, Ile St. Paul and Ile Amsterdam both by the Dutch in 1696, Ascension Island was first landed on in 1701 by 60 shipwrecked Englishmen who were stranded there for 2 months, the Seychelles in 1770 by the French, the Kerguelen Islands in 1772, also by the French. South Georgia in 1775 by that overachiever James Cook once again. Lord Howe Island in 1788 by the British, and Prince Edward's Island in 1799 by the French. By 1800, there really wasn't a whole lot left to discover, but that didn't stop people from trying and succeeding. The South Shetland Islands were landed on in 1819 by the British. Macquarie Island in 1820 by the Russians, the South Orkney Islands in 1821 by the British, and the Crozet Islands also in 1821 by some British sealers that got shipwrecked and stranded there for over 2 years. Well, that's about it. All right, except for the 7th continent that's bigger than Australia at the bottom of the
is to allow it the opportunity to get down to terminal velocity. So watch my video about why is SpaceX belly flopping. We kind of mentioned near the beginning that although we're just seeing them practice that flip maneuver,
still no update, guys. Sorry for that, everything. Let's do some other rocket things and then we'll get it. Good there. Say this. Air China thing. Air China thing. Well, I'll leave a link for my new channel, or my other channel in the description below, so please be sure to subscribe. By the way, I have 38 subscribers.
3, 2, 1, go.
Son, where'd you find this?
Okay.
No! God, please, no! No!
Okay. What is he concerned like about it tank? Oh, I hope we'll play some Among Us until this launch happens. The only way. Ugh. They're shouting there. Okay, I'll play only player. Open it. There's really nothing to see here. It's only aviation things, but we don't need aviation things yet. Play, we'll take a tour of all four maps because we have plenty of time. I take a tour of Skeleton, we have Meyer HQ, Paula's, and the other map left. The other map is really big. I'm already tour of Meyer HQ. I'm not scared to be alone here, by the way.
ಅದೇ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅಕೌಂಟ್
Here we go. The cafeteria of the Myra HQ map. There are 2 tables. And the laptop here. Really, it's just the least one. We go to the bottom. Floor that leads to the bottom.
Thank you for tuning in to today's launch broadcast. As you can see, the clock has resumed and we are currently at T-minus 17 minutes and counting.
Yeah,
Electron might be the rocket on the pad today, but recently we announced plans to build its much larger sibling, Neutron. While we wait for a new T0, let's take a look back at that announcement.
let's take a tour of the map. Go to here, we have the balcony. Now if you come straight towards it. The door to open our balcony. We have a task there, and here we have the land, and here we have another one on the door, and here we have. Let's do it, man, right? They're also gaming for the players. Finally done. Where do we leave? Now if we go further, we have the storage area. There's a fixed landing test we have. Dummy. Hello, Dummy 2. We have more storage things. There's nothing really more storage. We'll go here. Go further, we have another one that's cafeteria vent. There's a large hallway. And here we have a few wires and the air can take communications. Well, Charlie and Mummy don't really scare play Among Us. I'm just leaving this game in a while.
There's some things we said we'd never do. But we're going to build a big rocket. It's called Neutron, and behind me is just the fairing. This is a purpose-built mega constellation building machine for all the mega constellations of today and of tomorrow. It's an 8-ton class launch vehicle, and of course, it's reusable. But one thing that's probably more exciting and most unusual for Rocket Lab is that this vehicle is capable of human spaceflight. Launching 2024.
We're all incredibly excited to bring Neutron to the pad, and we will have updates on its progress coming soon, we promise.
I'll do that update by Flash Rocket Lab. Okay. How many viewers we got? Let's see. I'll do that update by Flash Rocket Lab. Okay. How many viewers we got? Let's see. Still one. Okay, no problem. I'll do that update by Let's open a notifications thing. Yeah, we got anything. Oh well, whatever. Let's go back.
Let's listen into mission control and check how we're tracking for our second attempt of the day.
Yes?
And there was not a hitch in this thing, but during the T-2 minutes we heard a hold there. Let's hope everything goes as per the plan today.
LD on mission cord, proceeding with the go-no-go poll for launch. Stage.
Stitches go.
Avionics.
Let's go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Let's see this video.
So I've been playing Among Us and I've been facing a very mysterious player that I'm sure you've seen. To get further into this video, posted a vacation. When I joined a random lobby to play some Among Us, I noticed that there was a mysterious player that joined my lobby. His name was Eris Lores. I haven't seen Eris Lores in quite some time. I noticed that someone sent a message on the chat, so I decided to check it out. I noticed everything was clear, and that is when Eris Lores joined my lobby. What does he want from me? I once again saw a message to the bottom. Luckily, I was the leader of the room this time. Eris Lores once again sent the same message in the chat, but the game was about to start. When I spawned in, I noticed that Eris. And then once again, Sora has into a game with us at Eris me. I then walked into Shields to do one of my tasks. Eris Lores was nowhere to be seen. I then made my way through communications, out through storage, and then walked into electrical. And that is when I noticed I then ran out of electrical. I ran towards the right side into storage and I decided to walk into admin. Hopefully Eris Lores didn't follow me. As I was doing my task in admin, O2 went off. I decided to do O2 since nobody was doing it. I had a feeling that there might have been a dead body in O2, so I decided to run towards cafeteria. And that is when I saw Eris Lores just standing there. I then ran as fast as I could. Hopefully Eris Lores isn't chasing me. And as I was walking into electrical, Eris Lores appeared from behind me. And that is when I saw Yellow's body in electrical. I decided to let everyone know that the body was in electrical. I didn't want to vote Eris Lores because I didn't know if anybody would believe me. And that is when the meeting ended. When I spawned back in, I decided to run towards admin to do my card swipe. I then walked into electrical to do a few of my tasks. I then walked out of electrical to do my wires in storage. And then once again, I walked into admin. I just wanted to get this game over with. I noticed that I still had medbay scans, so I decided have done that because the moment I did that, Eris Lores began to hunt me down. I ran as fast as I could. Eris Lores to see if I could get his attention. I shouldn't have done that because to medbay, and that is when I noticed Eris Lores began to catch up to me, but I continued to run, and that is when the lights went off. I got really scared, so I decided to walk in. Eris Lores was nowhere to be seen. That is when the doors closed and I saw Eris Lores on top of the. He said, Cyrus Sora. Then he responded with, me and crashing. Eris Lores.
Okay,
what is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Among Us
video. To Rocket Lab live stream. Yeah. 8 minutes, so good.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 high voltage batteries ready for flight.
Recording. Oh my god. Where's rockets?
Hello, it's Scott Manley here. Over the years, I've talked about a lot of rockets. I mean, while the US only has a handful of operational launch vehicles, there has been hundreds of different to ever come out of a discipline. And rocket design in fight against the natural tendency of the greatest. So, in no particular order, let's start with the Atlas Able.
Final launch readiness. Go. It's all clear now. We have separation. We have confirmed bearing separation. Stage 2 RTU and LITVC pressures are nominal.
Oh, it's canceled at least. I want to say like canceled. I don't think there's no launch after that because. What's this?
Home. There's no place like it. Follow me, Nick Offerman, as
Phase 1X, testing concepts for the future of new rocket design.
That is on clapping. No, nobody would want to live stream, but that's really bad.
You're now tapering off as designed. Vehicle.
Yes. It's not as good. Oh, this is the blue. Oh, separation, and there we go. Hey, man. Flight? Oh, wow.
Mechanisms armed, strongly retracted for flight.
What's this?
Don't want to miss this. And before we get any further into this video, I do want to turned on all of Among Us. Well, today I have something very disturbing to tell you. Cyrusora has been creating several plays, but he managed to get out of the that there was 4 players. It didn't take me long to realize that Cyrusora was outside of the dropship. I stared at, hello? Why do you always follow me, Cyrusora? He responded with, welcome back. Players inside of the lobby were freaking out that there was 2 reds. As I was reading the chat, Cyrusora told me that he missed me, and that we should have some fun. Cyrusora was making me really angry because all he does is follow me. I can never get rid of him. The match started, but I was the color purple when I selected red when I was in the lobby. And what I was about to witness was something so horrifying. When we all spawned into the cafeteria, our colors, skins, and pets were changing. Out of my entire time playing Among Us, I have never seen something so horrifying. When we all spawned into the cafeteria, our colors, skins, and pets were changing. Out of my entire time playing Among Us, I have never seen anything like this before. But we are facing one of the biggest hackers in all of Among Us. While I was in the admin room, I could see Cyrusora's skin changing as well. So his own hack was being used against him. While I was walking through communications, I saw Pink's dead body. The crewmate right next to me reported the body, but Cyrusora didn't let us vote. I guess you can say it was a good thing since I was one of the imposters. When I spawned in, I wanted to take a look at the crewmate skins and their colors, because I was just so amazed that Cyrus noticed of him using these hacks and kicked them out. But before I could have any fun, my game started to the game and 3 players in the dropship. So Cyrusora is somewhere in this lobby. I spotted him outside of the dropship in the same location that I saw him.
And really exciting, guys. Really exciting. We'll take a quick break here. And talk about nothing. See just how many views I've got here.
Home.
How much? 88 minutes, literally. I close my eye for until launch. We're gonna. Hey, buddy.
ABBs are on internal power. Confirm all stage power is disabled. Vehicle is on internal power.
now this will go on till the end of the mission. I think we'll stream for about an hour.
Box load complete. System into recirculation.
Box load complete. Cannot wait to see the launch. Pretty tense, so we'll just shut it off for about a minute. Still 30 seconds left. Let's see.
At 2+30 seconds into the mission, Electron is well on its way to space after its 20th liftoff from the pad at Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1. We had a great view from the tracking cameras of the power of those Rutherford engines, with Electron clearing past 700, it's clearing well on its way to space right now. And very soon, Electron will approach max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure. And this is the moment when the forces against the launch vehicle are at their peak during ascent. So let's listen in for the call that Electron has cleared that gate.
Ship run 1.
Vehicle is now Electron is traveling faster than the speed of Mach 1, guys. It's great. Approaching max Q. There we go. Great, there's a red line that lights up. Oh, yeah.
VB discharge nominal.
I think we can see this. Have to go through liftoff and
max Q cleared.
Drink sheet run 2 and 3.
There's the call out. Electron has successfully passed through max Q, with propulsion continuing nominally. In about a minute, we'll be coming up to 3 events that happen back to back during flight. First is main engine cutoff, or MECO. This is when the 9 Rutherford engines on Electron's booster throttle down before shutting off completely to slow the rocket down before the second event. That's when the first stage separates from the rest of Electron as it continues with the third event, ignition of the sole Rutherford engine that powers Electron and the satellites to orbit. With that stage separation, Electron's booster begins its journey back to Earth, and so will begin our second Electron recovery attempt. We'll hopefully have a live camera feed on that first stage to watch that descent take place, but before we get ahead of ourselves, let's wait for the call out for those 3 events.
We're not throttling down.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
The throttle is expanding, that means it's almost shutting down, throttling down. I can't believe it, actually. Now, if you're seeing my live stream, it will like 1 hour, no, like a few seconds.
MECO confirmed.
Oh, MECO, yeah.
Successful separation.
Yeah, good separation.
Stage ignition.
Recovery.
Analyst recovery, proceed with sequence 59, stage 1 recovery operations.
Computing landing zone.
As you've seen, we've had a successful MECO and stage separation. No, there's been no ignition, sorry, but on your screen, we'll keep that view and see what we can come back to you with soon.
No, no ignition. What? The failure? What? Fairing separation? What's going on? Shut up. What?
Uncontrollably alongside basically the first stage. So I wonder if they're going to have to terminate the upper stage for range safety because they can't have an up.
Oh no, what happened?
Okay, so it looks like we've had a loss of telemetry. We'll come back to you with more information as soon as we have it.
There's more I want to see these whiskey scenes. Oh, yeah, okay.
The Nations of the World, brought to you by Yakko Warner.
5 seconds of logos. The Atlantic Ocean is way too large on this map. Iceland appears twice, and in 2 different colors. This apparently takes place in a post-apocalyptic future where almost the entirety of Antarctica has melted. It seems they moved Oceania further southwest so they could fit it all on the map, but they still cut out half of New Zealand, so it just seemed completely pointless. Thailand is apparently a sea. Who knew?
And now, the Nations of the World.
Narration. Haiti. Haiti is the same color as neighboring Dominican Republic. Breathing. Caribbean. That's a sea, not a country. That's part of the Kingdom of Denmark, not a nation in its own right. Sutu. South Africa has a pointless line going through it.
Went for stage for I couldn't believe how rapidly that booster got kind of pushed out of the way. That was a really cool shot at stage separation. But I'm curious what they're thinking right now. Did they have to terminate the upper stage?
Okay, guys. What's happened there? Oh my god. Space Marine 2020, let's see this.
Hi, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Welcome to the 2020 and spaceflight. Now, before we get started, let's take a few moments to reflect and remember some of the great people, missions, and programs that we had to say goodbye to this year, starting with a few important people who made an impact in space history. Those of you who lost understanding of our and hardware. Saying goodbye to Dragon 1 as it's now with Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. It'll be replaced by an upgraded HTV-X, which will fly on a new H3 rocket. But losing the 300-meter dish at Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico was...
What?
Do not have live views of the vehicle to bring you at this time. So we're going to end today's webcast and bring you updates via our social media channels. Thank you for tuning in to today's mission. We'll see you back here
guys,
soon.
I think it's a failure. Oh no. Let's put that on.
In the last decade,
almost 200 satellites worth about
couple times here on air. It's hard. You know, these rockets are pushing the very bleeding edge of what's physically possible. So it's I better put a little note here that mission lost. That's a hard one to have to put up on screen.
Oh no, it's a failure.
Okay, so let's get you guys into the playback. See if we can figure anything out, but man, that sucks. Okay, again, I do ask all of us here, if you're watching my stream, to be respectful. This is, people's work and lives, where they are working their butts off for this stuff. So it's not easy for them. Let's make sure we have some empathy on the situation, that this is not good news. This is not something, that it sucks. It sucks. I did not see that happening. So, okay, stage separation. Now notice there is a latency between the cameras. That's not telling of anything. So actually what you're seeing on the left screen right here is the video feed from the upper stage, and the feed from the booster looks like it's delayed because that shot on the right is looking up.
I expect that one to really happen.
Also an upper stage shot. Actually, that's also an upper stage shot. That's another camera, which is interesting that they were. Oh, the left one. Sorry, the left one. Let me see that. Is okay. Oh, sorry, I had it backwards. Left one is from the booster looking up at the upper stage, and the right camera is from the upper stage looking back down at the booster. So there's some latency difference between those two. That makes sense. That's ignition there. Whoa, and it just veered off immediately.
Oh, good sign.
So remember, we watched that feed before.
Oh no. What has happened? There's still no updates. Let's see this video.
Yakko Warner.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador.
And now, the nations of the world, brought to you by Yakko Warner.
United.
You need to stop everything. This needs to stop now.
States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland.
Yeah, boy.
El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia. Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil. Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam. Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany now one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey and Greece. Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia. Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium and Portugal, France, England, Denmark and Spain. Hey! India.
حمود حبيبي حمود حبيبي حمود حبيبي حمود
Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, and Borneo, and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda.
Hey guys, I think it's a failure. The mission is a big failure. Oh my god, not good.
So we can get a sense here.
Yeah, based from Rocket Lab. Idiot. No, Peter J. Back. No. We'll just refresh our page one time. You'll just close and open it. It's definitely not a good sign. What? It's definitely not a good sign. What?